So, Markiplier was recently called out for using and defending AI within his content. This backlash was so massive that Markiplier ended up live streaming a response to explain himself and save face. Alright, I'm gonna be honest, I did look into this Markiplier AI story, and I could easily stretch his video to over 8 minutes, and just to point out nonsense. We all have a few laughs, and then go back home to our wives. But I gotta be straight with you, this topic isn't worth your time. What's even the point for you to know that Markiplier used AI for his content? This might be one of the most worthless, trendy topics I've ever researched, and I know people joke and commonly say,
big day for the unemployed, I'm so funny and original,
when referring to slop, but truthfully, you actually have to be unemployed to care about Markiplier AI drama. At this point, I'm done with slop. It's nothing but harmful. 3 days ago, I went up to my wife and simply just said, "Thanks for slopping by." She then looked straight into my eyes and said, it was over. So instead of talking about murky penis, I think what I'll do is assist you guys in becoming employed. And the first step in doing so is by building a professional resume. Alright, so what we have here is your ticket to employment. You're probably asking yourself, what website should I use, Diesel? There's too many of them. Well, I'll be honest guys, it really doesn't matter which one you pick. They're all pretty much the same. Because no matter what site you pick, you just want to make sure that your resume isn't too flashy. Ironically, guys, blandness is what sells. Do not waste your time designing your resume. The format and overall structure is important, but it's best not to use any colors besides black and white. A black and white resume indicates strong maturity. At the top of your resume, you'll want to include your contact information. Make sure you have 2 ways of being contacted. Typically, people will include their email or phone number. No matter the job, it's important to keep your resume clean and simplified. Your future employer doesn't have time to read about your life story. Keep it simple. The boss man will appreciate the fact that you're not wasting his or her time with big words that only serve to increase your letter count. The real key to success, though, is experience. Okay? You know, most people are under the impression that it's all about your educational background or how many degrees you have. And it is okay to include that in your resume, okay? But to most employers, that's really just to say, hey, I went through college, I got a degree, but that doesn't really offer anything to the table. This is just to prevent you from getting blacklisted. This is what sells you. I mean, compared to experience, education couldn't be any less more important. Going back to the top, you'll want to put your most recent job up here while trickling down your oldest occupation at the bottom. This is what's known as reverse chronological order. The boss man doesn't care what you did 5 years ago, so don't waste his time. Here you want to give a little description with bullet points of what your tasks were. What did you do at this job, and how is it relevant to the job you're applying for? Over here, you also want to say how long you're at those jobs for. Now, it's probably good to not include too many jobs on there. You want to show the boss man that you're loyal. You want to let your employer know you don't just jump ship whenever you find a better opportunity out there. Let's see what else. A professional summary should be at maximum 4 sentences long. Your goal here is to highlight your qualifications. Convince the boss man why you deserve this job. Always tailor the professional summary to the job you're applying for. If the professional summary is too long or irrelevant, then you're not getting that phone call. You know, some people like to include their own separate category for skills, but, you know, personally, I think in the professional summary is fine enough. And lastly, what good is a professional resume without a clean font style? I always like to use the classic Times New Roman or Areola, but if I'm feeling a bit spicy that day, then of course I'm going with Helvetica. Alright, this section is much easier. For your application, all you have to do is lie. You are unemployed for a reason. Do not show the boss man the real you. Make shit up. Your employer isn't actually going to fact check everything. So obviously here you put your personal information, and then when you scroll down more, this is when we start lying. Okay, guys? If you are not a US citizen, do not tell them that. Just say you are. They don't care. Then you go down to here, you got education, okay? Did you go to Harvard? Probably not. Put it in there. They're not going to fact check this shit, guys. You can literally put whatever the fuck you want to make yourself look super professional. And I know what you're probably asking yourself.
But Diesel, how do I fill out the references section if this is my first job?
Well, there's actually a very easy solution to that issue. Call one of your friends and ask them to pretend to be a prestigious CEO. Whatever you do, do not let your friends describe you from what they know about you. You're absolute garbage and worth nothing. Send over a script for your friend to read when the employer calls them. You can just use AI for that part, honestly. Well, I hope you've all learned something today and will use this knowledge to become a productive member of society.